Hello, everyone. John Bruna here with the Daily Quote. Let's go ahead and get right to it. For any one thing not going our way, there are hundreds of things that are. Instead of only focusing on our perceived struggles, we can bring to our attention the resources and support that we have to deal with any challenges that may come our way. This is so important to remember. I think we can all relate to what happens when our mind gets caught up into something we worry about, something we fear, something that comes up that we don't feel good about. And it'll hijack our whole day. One of my dear friends used to always say, "I've never had a bad day in my life. I've had a bad 5 minutes, and I've made it last all day." What happens to our minds when we get hijacked and worry and fear, perceived event that may or may not happen, or some real things that are happening, can just overshadow everything else, and we can enter into a refractory period where we can't open our mind to, well, what's really going on? Our mind can easily get caught up in worry, fear, anxiety, and stress, focusing very narrowly on one or two things. And today's quote inspires us to take a breath, bring our mind back to reality. Look at everything that has come our way, everything we do have. Are you okay in this moment? And maybe recognize that all the events that have ever happened in your life, all the things that you have worried about, every challenge that has come your way, you've survived. Your success rate's 100%. Pretty amazing. And yet our mind can get hooked. If this or that happens, everything will be terrible. It's called catastrophizing. It's cognitive distortion. Very easy to do, very common with us. And today's quote does not mean ignore problems. It actually inspires us to get into solution. Take a breath, bring some perspective. Notice that your mind's only seeing one thing and blocking out all the resources, all the problem solving, all of the options available in your life to improve that particular situation, or maybe recognize that maybe I'm exaggerating a potential issue that has not happened yet. Maybe it's a real concern that is coming our way. And then instead of worrying and stressing about it, which really doesn't help, we can get into problem solving and doing something that will help. Our struggle often resides in the worry and fear that takes over our mind. It's not based in a balanced perspective of all the options that are available to us. So today, the invitation is to remember you've overcome everything that's ever come your way. You have many resources. You are resilient. And it's good to know about real issues in our lives and put them into perspective and recognize that you have a lot more resources than we often give ourselves access to. So just balance some perspective when you notice your mind getting caught up in worry and fear. You are resilient and you do have resources. And let's focus on those rather than the fear of one or two things that absorb our whole mind. Hope you find that helpful.